You're listening to the MD Edge Daily News for Friday, June 22nd. I'm Nick Andrews.
And I'm Terry Rudd. Today, midlife retinopathy could predict ischemic stroke.
Also today, nails may hold a clue for relapsing scabies.
Canakinumab cut gout attacks in the CANTOS trial.
But we begin with a pathogenic link between herpesvirus infection and Alzheimer's disease. A new study finds that two nearly ubiquitous herpes viruses are abundant in the brains of patients with Alzheimer's disease. The viruses appear to integrate themselves into the patient's genome where they wreak havoc. This is according to genomic analysis of hundreds of Alzheimer's disease brain samples that found human herpesvirus 6a and 7 in the entorhinal cortex and the hippocampus, which are the initial sites for beta-amyloid overexpression in the disease. The viruses appear to interact with genes which are implicated in the risk for Alzheimer's disease, as well as for regulation and processing of the amyloid precursor proteins. Their presence was directly related to the brain donors' clinical dementia rating scores. Also, a mouse model suggests a protein pathway linking HHV infection and brain amyloidosis through a microRNA, which has been previously linked to Alzheimer's. The researchers report viruses were present in about 20% of Alzheimer's brain samples, but were not present in control samples or in samples from patients with other neurodegenerative diseases. This commonality suggests the association is real. Dr. Keith Fargo is the Director of Scientific Programs and Outreach at the Alzheimer's Association. Dr. Fargo said that this dense paper presents an idea that has been around before, but has been dismissed. He added that for the first time, a world-class group of researchers have completed a landmark paper packed with evidence. It's not definitive, but will bring the hypothesis to the mainstream like never before.
The more severe retinopathy is at midlife, the greater the risk of ischemic stroke later in life. That's according to research from Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. Researchers investigated data from more than 10,000 patients in the Atherosclerosis Risk and Communities database. Those patients had retinal photographs taken between 1993 and 1995, when they were between the ages of 45 and 65. The researchers reviewed the photos and looked for 4 types of retinopathy. They reported that after a median follow-up of about 19 years, 578 patients had an ischemic stroke, and 95 patients experienced hemorrhagic stroke. The research showed that after 15 years of follow-up, patients with retinopathy had a statistically significant increased risk for ischemic stroke compared with patients with no retinopathy. The 15-year cumulative risk of ischemic stroke with any retinopathy was 3.4%, compared with 1.6% with no retinopathy. Dr. Michelle Lin of Johns Hopkins says retinal imaging may enable further risk stratification of cerebrovascular and neurodegenerative diseases.
From Dermatology News, nails should not be overlooked in treating scabies. Nails can harbor mites, which represents a potential source of relapse for children and adults. This is according to multi-center perspective research published in the Journal of Pediatrics. In the study, 47 children with common scabies presented with mites under their thumbnails or first toenail. Dermatologists completed standardized questionnaires for each study participant, and full-body inspections and nail samplings were done. Clinical nail damage was considered hyperkeratosis, oncolysis, onchoschizia, and pachyonychia. These appeared in 5 patients. 42 children had pruritus. Of those, 64% also had pruritus present in their family homes. Nail scabies in medical literature is more commonly seen in immunocompromised patients with crusted scabies and higher concentrations of parasites. The researchers say that they were only able to locate 3 other reports of nail scabies occurring with common scabies. All 3 of those reports are for adult patients.
Treatment with canakinumab may cut gout attacks nearly in half. That's according to a post hoc analysis of data from the CANTOS trial. Canakinumab is an interleukin-1 blocking agent. It's being studied in CANTOS as an anti-inflammatory therapy in more than 10,000 patients with atherosclerotic disease. Dr. Daniel Solomon is a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and a rheumatologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. He says the finding serves as a proof of concept that interleukin-1 beta blockade might be a clinically meaningful strategy to block gout attacks. He spoke with MD Edge reporter Mitchell Zoller at EULAR 2018. But Dr. Solomon cautions that canakinumab's cost could be an important factor in any treatment calculation. And that concludes this edition of the MD Edge Daily News.
Please check out our sister podcast, MD Edge CardioCast. This week's episode highlights the NIH's decision to end an ethically troubled study on moderate alcohol use.
You can subscribe to all MD Edge podcasts wherever podcasts are found. I'm Terry Rudd.
And I'm Nick Andrews. From all of us here at MD Edge, thanks for listening. Have a happy, safe weekend.